My in-laws moved in without my permission, and I couldn't take it anymore. Boo! Get him out of there! So I, 33 female, have been married to Tim, 34 male, for 5 years. He's incredibly family-oriented, which normally is sweet. Keyword, normally. His mom, Laura, 60s. His sister, Emma, 21. Emma's boyfriend, Chris, 21. And Laura's husband, Jack, 60s, all lived together in Laura's home until a gas leak turned their house into a carbon monoxide chamber. Yikes. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but the house needed major repairs. We were told they'd be displaced for a while. By the way, this comes from Creative Field 6394 on the Charlotte YouTube subreddit. And if you want to spin your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. So, here's where it gets fun. Tim unilaterally decided to invite them to live with us. Not ask me, not discuss it, just told me they were coming 24 hours before they showed up with suitcases and coolers of food like it was a summer camping trip. No, I would be so upset.
So upset.
This wasn't a, can we host them for a few days situation? This was, they'll stay until the house is fixed, which I later learned could take months. I was livid, and before anyone calls me heartless, no, I don't think you're heartless. I think that's crazy of your partner. I grew up with 3 older siblings, 2 brothers and a sister. I'm the youngest, and I understand the importance of family. I would give my family the shirt off my back, but I also believe in boundaries, especially when I wasn't consulted in my own dang house. Now, for context, Emma is the miracle baby born after Laura had long given up hope of another child. She's the golden child, and Laura dotes on her like a Victorian-era heir. Tim, who's the second oldest, has spent most of his life playing peacemaker and trying to earn his mother's affection, especially since Laura and Tim's dad divorced when he was 10. His dad and stepmom? Absolute angels, respectful, kind, never overstep. Can't say the same about Laura and Jack. Emma and Chris are both full-time students with 0 job prospects. Chris spends all day in our media room playing FPS games and vaping stress away. Yikes. While Emma uses our guest room as her personal content studio, she's an aspiring lifestyle influencer with less than 500 followers and a ring light addiction. Jack just sits in our sunroom reading and pretending the rest of the world doesn't exist. And Laura? She's been reorganizing my spice rack, commenting on my wardrobe, and calling my dog hers. I finally snapped after week 2 today when Laura told me that maybe I should put more effort into my appearance since I work from home and have no excuses.
I feel like that's
the reason
right there.
yeah, what are you talking about? That's a great reason.
Yeah.
I run a consulting firm from my home office. She thinks I play on spreadsheets. I told Tim we needed to talk, and he actually had the nerve to say, "Babe, don't start. They're family. They needed us." Don't start? Don't. Oh, if someone said, "Babe, don't start" to me, I'd
start.
say, "Oh, so we're starting."
Oh,
so
that's
you want to
crossing the start line.
Vroom, vroom, vroom. We're just started.
That was you just fired blanks.
Oh,
with those words.
off to the races.
Oh my goodness.
Ready, set, go.
Also, just the fact that they're family. No, girl.
Yeah, they're family, so I didn't consult you, and I actually don't care what your feelings on this are at all.
Yeah, we just have to let them do whatever because they're family. They're family.
I lost it. I told him they're his family, not his responsibility, that he crossed a huge line inviting 4 adults into our home without my input, that I felt disrespected, bulldozed, and treated like an afterthought in my own marriage. I told him I've been a good wife, a good host, and a better daughter-in-law that his family deserves, but I'm not a doormat. He accused me of being cold and said I don't understand what it's like to come from a broken home. Oh, don't put on the waterworks. Play your little violins somewhere else, buddy.
Also, trying to say, oh, you just don't understand. It's okay, well, explain it to me then, because I don't.
Also, really has nothing to do, your upbringing.
Yeah.
Kind of has nothing to do with the problem here.
Right.
Because they've stayed for 2 weeks and OP saying, hey, you never consulted me.
And it's if it was such a broken home, why are we bringing the broken home to our home? What's that about?
I reminded him that he married someone from a healthy home where people ask before they impose and boundaries are respected. It's yeah, okay, maybe you grew up in kind of a bad family or a bad home, but we're trying to create a good one, right?
Yeah,
Just because Laura emotionally manipulated him for decades doesn't mean I'm going to let her run my house like it's her second chance at suburban royalty. Now he's sulking. Laura's been making martyr comments about not being wanted. Emma passive-aggressively posted a TikTok about people who don't support your dreams. And I'm the villain in my own home. I love my husband, but I feel like I'm being punished for having a backbone. Before we get into the comments, do you have any thoughts?
I hope that you see this when it comes out, and I hope that you tag that girl that has a ring light addiction. It's like, well, it's not that I don't support your dreams. It's that all this crazy stuff is happening, that you weren't supposed to be here in the first place, okay? And then you'll just start fighting on social media, and we'll be a part of that.
Exactly. Yeah, honestly, you could help, if you really wanted to, you could help Emma with her career by giving her more drama to talk about.
There you go.
She'd probably be more popular if she was like, yeah, and my
Right. Get
whatever
ready
is
with me
t-
while
yeah.
I talk about my
sister-in-law.
Yeah.
She's trying to get me out of my house.
Exactly. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Just send her our way. We'll help her. We'll help her for sure.
We'll help her. Comments. Comment 1 says, get them an Airbnb. They can stay there. I wouldn't stand for this in my house. Comment 2 says, change the Wi-Fi password and don't give it to any of them. Husband included if you don't trust him not to pass it along. If Emma wants to create content, she'll have to go somewhere else. Chris will not be able to sit around all day playing video games. They can both get jobs, learn to read, or move out. Obviously, you need the internet in order to work from home, but no one else needs it. They want it, but do not need it. And if you are doing the food shopping, stop buying any goodies or snacks they like. Start making life in your home less comfortable for them all so they will want to move out sooner. People live for generations without TV and internet. They'll survive. And mother-in-law and father-in-law will probably try to increase the pace of their home repairs. We had a similar situation where a family member moved in after a job loss just until he got back on his feet. 6 months later, he wasn't even trying to find a job, just sat around the house all day, eating and watching TV and playing video games. I changed the password, took all the TV remotes, and disappeared them. Actually, they were in the trunk of my car, which was parked at my office all day, and I took all the goodies and also put them in the trunk of my car. He whined and complained that we were treating him like a child. Yup, time to grow up. But I believe he had a job within the week and moved out pretty quickly after that.
There you go, taking care of business.
That would only work if Opie's husband were on her side, which he's not.
Oh, is this just an idea? It hadn't happened yet?
This is the comment.
Oh.
Yeah. This is a comment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if he would be. I don't think he would.
It'd be pretty hard to do all of this if he wasn't on your side.
Yeah.
And once he was gone, I gave husband and kids back the Wi-Fi password. We all read a lot until he moved out because no TV. Reply, change the password for both the Wi-Fi and the router. That way they can't use the default password to change it back. And folks, there's an update, and we're going to get into it.
Let's do it.
Thank you to everyone who commented, especially those who pointed out how suspicious this gas leak situation was. Y'all gave me the clarity and pettiness I needed, so I did a little digging. I went full detective mode. I told Tim I was going to visit my niece, which I do regularly, so it didn't raise flags. Instead, I made 3 stops. Stop 1, the gas company. I called and asked about the supposed gas leak at Laura's address. They had no record of any emergency call, appointment, or report from the property. Nada. They didn't even know the names. Huh? Wait, when someone said that in the comment that, like, check the gas, I was like, oh, no, like, why would they lie about a gas leak? The problem here is that they're, staying for so long.
Yeah.
Now the gas leak might be fake? That's crazy.
So what are they doing here?
Why are they here?
Oh, my gosh.
Stop 2, the landlord. I called Laura's landlord, their house is a rental, to ask if they'd been notified about any gas-related issues. He was confused. Told me point blank that no one had contacted him about a gas leak, and if there had been one, it would have been reported and handled ASAP. He'd just done a routine inspection a week before they fled to our house and found nothing. Stop 3, their actual house. Yup, I drove over there. No warning signs, no work vehicles, nothing indicating any repairs were happening. I even Googled what to look for after a carbon monoxide emergency. There were no do not enter notices, no equipment, no new detectors installed, nothing. The neighbors out front said that they hadn't seen any crews or heard about any leak either. I was fuming. What do you mean? I'm like genuinely so confused.
Yeah.
'Cause why are they there?
What are they doing?
Why are they at your house?
Like,
They have their own house that presumably they're paying for.
Yeah, right?
They've been at your house for 2 weeks.
Like, who are they hiding from? Are they, like, in trouble with the
Yeah.
law? Or
Are
with,
they
like,
in witness protection?
literally?
Huh?
What's going on?
Now, I knew Emma's boyfriend, Chris, is as sharp as a wet paper towel and has the worst poker face known to man. So I got him alone while everyone else was at the beach again and calmly said, "You're not in trouble, but I need you to tell me the truth about why you're really here, because I spoke to the gas company and the landlord." Y'all, this boy snitched so fast, I didn't even have to ask twice. Turns out the entire gas leak story was a lie cooked up by Laura and Emma. They knew Tim would panic if he thought something had happened to them, and that if they said emergency, he'd roll out the red carpet. The real reason they wanted to stay with us? We live 10 minutes from the beach, the same beach that they've been conveniently going for walks there almost every day. They didn't want to pay for a hotel or an Airbnb, and like I said, they knew he'd do it because he's always trying to be the hero, especially when it comes to his mom. I'm sorry, they've been at your house for 2 weeks because they wanted to walk to the beach?
And they were going to stay for, like, months.
Yeah.
Like, because
so they
I guess
have
a gas
beachfront
leak.
property?
That is so insane, dude.
Wow.
So insane.
Oh my goodness.
See?
I would feel so vindicated.
Yeah.
Like, I would be going to my partner and be like,
Yeah.
oh boy.
Like, you cannot
You're about to
say
hear it.
anything.
You're
to
about
me
to
for
hear.
the
I'm going to
next
start
year.
and I'm not going to stop.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
When I confronted Tim, I didn't yell. I just calmly laid it all out. What I'd found, what I'd confirmed, and what Chris confessed. And I saw the exact moment it hit him. His own mother and sister manipulated him using a fake emergency just to score a free beach vacation. He was shattered, then angry, then disgusted. By the way, you'll never be disgusted to learn that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I'd be so mad.
I would be so mad and also just like so disappointed in my partner.
Yeah. Yep.
Because like,
Yeah.
honestly, would he have even listened to you if there wasn't this whole lie concocted?
Right.
Because the problem has not gone away. He's
Yeah.
only kicking them out, presumably. We haven't actually heard that he's kicking them out.
Yeah.
But he's only kicking them out because he found out they lied.
Right. But that wasn't even like the whole
That
problem.
wasn't the issue.
Yeah, because it was
that you went ahead and let them stay without asking.
Yeah, and then he just continued to follow up with like, oh, like it's just because it's family. You're like, you don't understand because you didn't come from a broken home. It's like, well, I'm seeing it. Like, I'm seeing it right in front of me. I'm sorry I don't understand, I guess, but like that's not.
Sorry, I know how to create boundaries and you apparently don't want to learn.
Yeah, and I am sorry that like you haven't learned how to get around that yet, and you're still falling victim to their manipulation. But that's just a crazy way to treat the situation.
Yeah. But there is a little bit left to the story. He didn't even hesitate. He told them all to pack their stuff and leave that exact second. Laura cried as she was trying to guilt trip him. It didn't work, obviously. Emma screamed. Jack shrugged and asked for a ride. And Chris apologized 3 separate times on his way out the door. Now it's just me and Tim again. The silence in the house is unreal. But to his credit, Tim finally got it. We had a long conversation about boundaries, family enmeshment, and manipulation. He admitted this was a wake-up call and that he's tired of being the fixer who gets used. We're now looking into couples counseling, not because I'm leaving him, but because this broke a piece of my trust, and we both want to rebuild it the right way. For once, I feel like Tim finally sees things for what they are. And folks, that's the end of that story.
My mother-in-law is furious that we got married without her knowing.
But it's my marriage.
Right? And this comes directly from the r/OKstorytime subreddit. Because one of our own. I, 27 female, and my husband, 31 male, have been married for 5 years, but together for 11. We have 3 children, preteen, child, and baby. This post is regarding his mother. The fallings out listed here are the big ones. There were often lots of little snide remarks and jabs made. They didn't really fit into this thread, really. Unfortunately, we've had multiple fallings out and have cut each other out of our lives. By the way, this comes from Express B 1852, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. So, First was when our eldest was turning 2, and she told us that she had already purchased and personalized a birthday present, which we had already bought. We politely, as possible, declined, but it wasn't taken very well. I distinctly remember a phone call between my husband and his mom where not even on loudspeaker I heard her say, "Oh, it's that witch's problem, isn't it?" referring to me and insinuating that it was just me upset at her for trying to gift a present we had already bought, not my husband too.
That's crazy vibes to just call
Yeah.
your daughter-in-law a witch.
Yeah, don't like that. Thinking about it, it was mainly me upset, but my husband had my back. We weren't really the same after that for a long time, when very low and basically no contact, and she actually gave the present anyway. Background, it was a 2-part present, a baby pram, and her first ever doll. Mother-in-law sort of voiced, "Well, I kindly backed down from gifting the doll, so I get to give the pram." I was definitely more upset than my husband, but didn't want to rock the boat any more than it already was, and just quietly kept to myself. It was at a birthday party for a cousin that mother-in-law attended that we tried to rebuild the bridge and got a little familiarity back. At that party, his mom invited his sister and his mom out to lunch. I later learned this, but it was set up as an intervention to tell him how much the family hated me. Oh, wow. Considering I'd only met them a handful of times, any opinions they had of me were definitely drip-fed through their own feelings. My husband tells me at a much later date about this lunch and says that his sister stayed mostly out of it, although it sounded like she did know that it was her mom's intention for the meal. Fast forward to my husband getting ready to propose in 2017. He was ring shopping, and again, unbeknownst to me until much later on, his mom, who he took to help him choose a ring, reminded him that his whole family hated me while they're ring shopping to propose. That's crazy.
This is a great way to make your son go no contact with you.
Yeah.
Why would you do this?
This is on you. This is on you, Mom. Come on. They thought that I was controlling and manipulative, etc. At the time, my husband has said that he felt like his mom was making him choose between me and her. He felt he was being made to decide between the family he was born into and the family he chose to have, our family. These 2 incidents put a divide between us and mother-in-law, although I didn't really know as to why. Honestly, for a while, my husband did start to wonder if what she was saying had any bearing, if I was as manipulative and self-absorbed as his mom made out. It's now 2020. Thanks to the vid, we got married in secret. Just myself, my husband, and our 2 daughters. It was incredible, and we were filled with so much love. We had planned to have a big wedding where we could have all our loved ones in the following year, with an announcement during the speeches that we'd actually already gotten married the year before. 2021 came around quickly, but we soon realized we wouldn't have the big wedding that year due to restrictions placed on traveling. Some of our guests would be coming across the world. So instead, we announced our marriage via Facebook. Sure, that's a
Wow,
pretty
okay.
equal way to do that.
Yeah, okay.
That's really funny. We messaged both sets of parents first with the photo and then popped it on social media. My parents were thrilled, but his mom wasn't. "You got married without me? How could you get married without me? How does OP's family feel about this?" etc. Mother-in-law, semi-understandably, was upset not witnessing her son getting married. This is important for later.
Well, I mean, why would she be able to witness him getting married when she's been like, I hate your partner?
Honestly, I think no matter what, she's going to complain about something.
Yeah.
If she got the wedding invite, she would just be saying that the whole
And
time.
she'd probably she'd be ruining it. She'd be like, don't do it. When the guy goes,
Yeah.
speak now, forever hold your peace. She'd be like, she sucks.
Yeah.
Boo. And it'd be like, thanks, Mom.
Yeah. At least want to go wheel her out. Get her out of there.
Get out of there.
But yeah, so of course they got married in secret. Mom, come on. So she did think we had a normal wedding without her and took some convincing it was only our immediate household that attended. Again, we were rocky for a bit, but made the effort to host and go around for dinner, etc. But it was awkward to say the least. Not a happy family. Fast forward to 2022. We were getting ready for our big wedding. Invites went out and most of the RSVPs came back, bar 1 or 2. Husband had to remind his mom twice before receiving a message a day before the the RSVP deadline that she wouldn't be attending due to a surgery she was having 6 weeks beforehand. Now, I can't for the life of me remember what it is for, but at the time we found out that it was a keyhole surgery with a quick recovery time, so this excuse really did upset my husband. Husband was pretty upset. She was devastated that she missed our actual marriage, but now wouldn't be attending the party. He wasn't expecting much from her. To sit down, smile, laugh, be a part of his side of the family. Yes, we did have some of his side of the family attend. So for his own mom to decline, despite their recent differences, broke him. About a week after she declined the invite, giving her a chance to change her mind, this is when crap hit the fan, as if it already hasn't yet.
Oh boy.
It's about to get real stinky up in here. A heated back and forth chain occurred. Lots of what she said went along the lines of, something terrible must have happened to you in your life to be so filled with hatred. I've lost count of the number of times you've hurt me over the years. You've ripped my heart out. I lost my son the day he met you. Let's hope that the husband's name wakes up. It's so dramatic, my goodness.
I think you actually lost your son like the day you were just like, yeah, your fiance and your future wife sucks and I hate her and I don't want anything to do with her.
We all hate her. We all have been talking about how much we hate her and we need to have an intervention with you so you don't marry her. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out, Mom.
Like,
Peace.
come on. She tried to suggest her strained relationship with her grandchildren was my fault and not due to her own lack of effort. I reminded her it's always her pain and never her son's that she's concerned with. I said, I couldn't care less if you turned up or not. It doesn't change my life in the slightest, but for my husband and for our daughters, it would have been nice for you to make an effort for once. And that is a quote from OP. Boom. That's a great way to say that. Oh, there's more.
The quote continues.
The quote continues. Not knowing about the wedding wasn't exclusive to you. We ran away and wed because we were in a pandemic. You should have been thrilled, not acting like a little spoiled child. The messages finished with her telling me, oh, and by the way, the only reason I haven't laid you out is for the sake of the kids. Think about that one, love, and keep looking behind you. Just a bit of advice. These are like the most like cheesy, threatening lines, and I'm not threatened by them at all. That's so crazy. That was the final nail in the coffin. Husband totally cut her off. No contact. Just a week before the wedding, husband received one final message from mother-in-law, which I've condensed down. I hope you realize you made the biggest mistake of your life by marrying that witch. I will never forgive you for letting her treat me how she has after everything I've done for you. You are in such a controlling relationship. Why don't you wake up? I never want to see or speak to any of you again. As far as I'm concerned, you don't exist.
Yeah.
Get a backbone and stand up to her. You are no longer my son.
Yeah, you're in such a controlling relationship. Break up with her right now or I'm disowning you. Then that's not controlling.
Do what I say.
Yeah.
And get out of that controlling relationship so you can stay in this one.
Yeah, you can only be in one controlling relationship at a time, and it should be with me.
Come on. Oh my gosh. This is so crazy, dude.
Ridiculousness.
Ridiculous. This was 2.5 years ago, and the no contact has remained the entire time. However, he has started saying how he wants to make amends just in case she passes away. His words. He's worried that she will pass away. She's in her 60s, and that's how things were left. Now, don't get me wrong. I have no idea the predicament my husband is and has been in. We have a good relationship with my side of the family. To be told it's us or her on multiple occasions can't have been easy. It just concerns me. I feel like she'd think she was right, and more importantly, she'd think my husband thinks so too. I've asked, too, if he thinks anything his mom has said is true, and he's adamantly denied. I do feel hurt he could forgive her or try to move past it after so little time.
You know, there is something to be said about, like, it's hard if somebody passed away because you can't undo that at all.
Right.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, all is forgiven or forgotten.
Yeah.
Like, it's just more like a logistics decision of, like, I'm going to try to have something here.
Right.
And it's like, if you can be like, yeah, so here's the deal. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like
I
one
know
of
it's
those things.
Very complicated. It might honestly be a thing where like could be mostly for him, you know? I mean, like if he has something he wants to say to her, you know, about things that he was grateful for somewhere in their relationship, like maybe it's something like that he just kind of needs to get out. You know, maybe he can write it on paper first and see if he feels like he wants to tell her it or something.
It's more like catharsis for him, for sure, more than like forgiving her for everything.
Right.
And then, you know, I always like to say, silly baby. You just got to treat her like a silly baby when she starts saying silly baby stuff like she hates your wife. It's like, that's a silly little baby thing to say, silly goo goo gaga.
I wish my mom wasn't acting like a silly little baby, but what can you do? You know, that's just all it is, really. I do feel hurt that he could forgive her or try to move past it after so little time. I know I feel like the wounded party. Most of her jabs were aimed at me, but they did cut deep. Deep down, I know that this will happen again. He opens his life up to her again, and she hurts him. It's what she does. But watching him fall into that again is hard. I've plainly told him if he pursues a relationship, I am continuing no contact with her. What she said was too much for me to try and reconnect. But should I allow my children, one of whom she hasn't met, a relationship? Selfishly, I know, but I don't want them to like someone that hates their mother so deeply. Is it even my call to make? Am I wrong to try and discourage rekindling a relationship with my mother-in-law? And we're going to answer that in just a second, but you would never be in the wrong if you just found more episodes of stories just like this one. Just go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, or whatever your favorite podcast app is and search OK Storytime. They're all there.
Yes.
What's our answer to that question?
My answer would be no. But I do think that the way you need to go about this is just between you and your husband, have a conversation about how you're feeling about it and like where you want the boundary to be set. Like, where do we go back to no contact? Like, create a game plan together.
Yep, I completely agree. There is a little bit of an edit, a little background info. Mother-in-law never had a good relationship with her own birth parents. Mother-in-law and father-in-law are no longer married. During most of this story, she was remarried, but that marriage recently ended. Both marriages, husbands were borderline controlling, telling mother-in-law they didn't like her friends, forcing sister-in-law to go in low contact with mother-in-law due to a falling out regarding second husband. Also, none of mother-in-law's kids' partners have been good enough for their children. Sister-in-law's ex-husband was supposedly manipulative and controlling. Brother-in-law's girlfriends have always had something wrong with them. Ex has kids. He never wanted kids. Why? It's so boring. He won't be tied down, etc. And that is the end of that story.
My brother-in-law cut off his family, and it's being blamed on me.
Snip, snip, you're out of there.
Hey, I didn't do the snipping. I didn't do it. This is some family drama concerning my in-laws. For context, I, female 35, have been with my husband, Harry, male 39, for 11 years, married for 4. Harry has 3 half-siblings, Sally, female 44, Roger, male 46, and Kyle, male 49. They have the same mom, but Harry has a different dad. This is just for context, as my husband has never been treated any differently and has always been introduced as their brother. By the way, this comes from user ThrowThatStuff689 directly from the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And if you want to submit your stories, submit them there. So now I am luckier than most that on the whole, my in-laws are great. Sally has become like the sister I never had, and we're basically BFFs, joined at the hip. She was my maid of honor at my wedding. I've always gotten along with the brothers and my father-in-law. Unfortunately, they lost their mom before me and Harry met, and I think this has made them closer. Sally has always acted like a mother hen to all of the brothers, despite 2 of them being older. Kyle has 3 children with his ex, Taylor, female 25, Haley, female 21, and Jake, male 15. About 3 years ago, Taylor announced she was pregnant to Sally, Roger, their dad, and some family friends that were there for a party. Me and Harry weren't able to make it that day. However, Taylor asked that they keep it quiet while she told everyone important herself. These people included me and Harry and his maternal grandmother. Months went by, like probably 2 at a minimum, and still we didn't know. And more importantly, my grandmother-in-law didn't either. So Sally kept trying to get them to tell her repeatedly, which she either got ignored or told they will tell them when they're ready, which Sally said, that there are non-family members who are aware of the pregnancy and said it's going to get out eventually. After these 2 months, Sally called me up and told me about Harry and the pregnancy. We were sworn to secrecy, and we said when she told us, we would act surprised. Spoiler, that took another 2 months until we were told over text. She would have been around 5 or 6 months pregnant, and they did not know that we knew. Sally asked whether she could tell grandmother-in-law, as she was finding it difficult not to, because she basically sees her every single day as they live close by. And even though grandmother-in-law is mostly independent, Sally does help her out and go grocery shopping and do other errands for her. They are extremely close, and she felt bad for not telling her something as big as her first great-great-grandchild. I said maybe leave it a few more weeks and also ask Kyle and Taylor when they're planning to tell her, as it's becoming difficult for you and is putting you in an impossible position. She did just that and got crickets in return. Another piece of context around Kyle: he is absolutely terrible with money. He earns more than anyone else does in the family, but is always constantly asking to borrow money. His dad has helped him numerous times to pay off debt, as he's racked up credit card debt to the point where he didn't have the income to pay it off. Kyle is a nice guy and pleasant to talk to, but we often don't hear from him until he wants something.
Gotta love those types of people.
Hey man, it's been a while.
Hey.
So,
By the way,
on a real level though,
yeah.
we are all guilty of doing that at some point.
Sure.
But it's when you do it every time.
Every single time. And there's no like genuine, because if you do it enough, it's like, okay, you don't even care about me. Well, you might, but from what you've shown me, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
So,
like Kyle asking for money or company to go out drinking with him in the bars, although he doesn't ask us for money anymore, because Harry told him no after we met, mostly because I saw that he wasn't paying him back and sending Harry into financial issues, so I gave him the confidence to put his foot down. Sally is a single mom and was constantly bailing Kyle out financially and never being paid back. But then he would go in designer expensive clothing or buy a new car, that sort of thing. Yeah, when someone is doing that and you don't hold them accountable, you are part of the problem.
yeah, it's like giving your dog food every time it begs. They're never going to leave you alone every time you have food.
Yeah.
Gotta
And then
train your humans.
You're like, I'm so sorry. I don't know why my dog does this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Anyway, eventually Sally decided she was just going to tell grandmother-in-law about the baby, thinking at this point it'd been 3 months since everyone was told at the party. Now, Kyle had remarried to Jess, female 45, about a year before this happened. When Jess was struggling mentally, Kyle asked Sally to take her on walks and talk so she had a shoulder to cry on or talk to and also get out of the house. During one of those walks, they were talking about baby stuff, and Sally took this opportunity to ask when they were going to tell grandmother-in-law. It had been 4 months since the party at this point, and Taylor was around 7 months pregnant.
Wow.
Jess wasn't sure and said that they need to hurry up or else she's going to find out from someone else. Sally felt bad and admitted that she told grandmother-in-law because she couldn't keep this a secret, as it was too difficult. Jess promised not to tell anyone and agreed it had been too long. Jess must have gone home and almost immediately told Kyle, which was then passed to Taylor. Sally got a message from both of them, telling her she was a, quote, horrible person, and how she's taken the joy of telling grandmother-in-law, how it wasn't her news to share, etc., etc. Sally defended herself, saying if 4 months wasn't long enough to tell grandmother-in-law, then they shouldn't have told anyone until they were ready to tell everyone. This is true. I feel like you have no leg to stand on being like, how dare you? It's like, at this point, I mean, 7 months is super premature, but it's like, you could just have the baby.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Because obviously, you know, you want to wait at least like a month or two when you first find out you're pregnant so that, you know, just in case anything bad happens.
Yeah.
But 7 months in, dude, you're locked in. You're like pretty good there. So I don't know why they wouldn't tell the grandma.
And with were you trying to make it an extra surprise? Like,
yeah.
it's going to probably be a surprise no matter when you tell her.
For sure. Like, yeah.
Maybe they don't have a good relationship.
Maybe.
Maybe it's complicated there.
That would be the only thing that makes sense, but we haven't heard anything about that.
But it doesn't.
Maybe they're keeping that.
The fact that they said you took the joy out of telling it kind of makes me feel like that's not the
True.
case.
Yeah.
So why would you wait so long?
That's so weird.
So this bickering went on for weeks. Sally eventually decided she was going no contact with them and blocked those that hadn't already blocked her. Sally hasn't spoken to any of them since. Every now and again, though, Roger and her dad try to encourage her to mend things which she feels bad about. She had tried reaching out a few times, wishing Kyle a happy birthday, reaching out when Jake broke his arm, etc., always getting one-word responses. Kyle didn't wish Sally or her daughter a happy birthday, didn't reach out when her daughter had a suspected appendicitis and was in the hospital, or when Sally had to have security cameras installed due to a neighbor from situation. Even worse, Kyle hasn't spoken or even seen grandmother-in-law since before Taylor got pregnant. She had a milestone 90th birthday last year and received nothing from Kyle or his kids. The only one who has reached out is Haley, but she asked to come see grandmother-in-law, but could grandmother-in-law ask Sally to stay away while she visited, as she didn't want to cross paths with her. Grandmother-in-law told her no, that if she wanted to come, she would have to know that she's not playing those games, and she would either make it work or not come. Yeah, 90-year-old grandma doesn't have time for your BS.
Yeah, like, what is that? Asking your grandma, it's like, oh, can you tell her this? Because I don't want to.
Can you make sure
Tell her yourself.
Yeah. Can you make sure I don't see Sally so that I don't have to deal with, the situation? She's like, you mean Sally who's always here helping me?
Yeah.
No.
Nuh-uh.
You're probably going to have to see her.
Nuh-uh. She's like, I'm old enough to be a great grandma.
Yeah.
I am not dealing with this crap, man.
A great grandma.
A great grandma?
Great grandma.
What? I thought it was just great.
Right? Because it's their grandmother. Like grandmother-in-law of OP.
Yeah. She's too old to be dealing with this high school crap, dude.
Yeah, and she's too old to be having to wait 7 months to know about the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Like, she should be the first person who gets told.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people can be great-great-grandmas.
Age before beauty.
Tell her while you still can, dude.
Truly. So after all that, she's chosen not to come. Christmas, birthdays, even just general visits on Sundays have not been attended by them, which is where I have my problem. Grandmother-in-law did nothing wrong, so why is she being punished? One Father's Day, we went to eat for a Father's Day meal with me, Harry, and my father-in-law, Sally, and her daughter, and Kyle was invited. However, Kyle was not told that Sally would be there. Harry was getting us a drink at the bar when Kyle arrived. Harry was a bit shocked, as we knew Sally would be coming and assumed Kyle wouldn't be there. Just to clarify, Sally had no problem attending events that Kyle was attending, as she would just keep away or at least be polite to him. However, where possible, Kyle would either not attend or make sure he was in a completely separate room from her at all times. Harry was a bit off with him, not sure whether he should let him know that Sally was coming. Deciding that he should be warned to avoid drama, he told him. He stormed off, ignoring me, straight to his dad and said, "You didn't tell me Sally was coming. I'm off then," and left before Sally arrived. Boo, you're a little baby boy. Now, Harry is annoyed because Kyle blatantly ignored me and avoided me when he left, probably because of my close relationship with Sally, and had annoyed his dad for this childish behavior. Now he's telling Roger that he didn't leave because of Sally, but because Harry was, quote, being weird with him, and it's my fault because I was clearly taking Sally's side in all this and poisoning Harry against his brother, and that he didn't ignore me at all, and I just made that up. So, just for some outside perspectives, are we the a-holes for being annoyed about being blamed for my brother-in-law's childish behavior? And there are some comments. Yes. Just kidding.
I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, no, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Of course you're not the a-holes for being annoyed about this.
No, I'm annoyed. I don't even know you guys.
Yeah, it's just an annoying thing. It's like we're in our late 40s.
Yeah.
Kyle's almost 50. It's like you need to learn how to have a conversation
Literally.
with your sister.
Literally.
And by the way, they were a-holes
Yeah.
for not telling their 90-year-old grandmother,
Yeah.
hey, my daughter's pregnant. Or, hey, great grandma, I'm having a baby.
I just don't understand why it's such a big issue. Like, why this whole thing is surrounded by that. Like, it's surrounded that issue. And it's such a silly issue to begin with.
Yes.
Like, what? Oh, I just don't want to tell her yet. Oh, but okay, fine, then I'm going to tell her because you're 7 months pregnant. But, oh my gosh, you took away all the joy. It's
Yeah.
like, what were you going to? You
Makes no
didn't want
sense.
You didn't want to do it.
It makes no sense. Comments. So weird to not tell the rest of the family about the baby. Was it illegitimate and they feared judgment? Okay, So OP says she wasn't married, but the baby daddy was her boyfriend. No one in the family is religious and would not have judged her at all. She knows that no one is religious, and my husband makes it well known he is an atheist. A reply to that says, I wonder if her dad was poisoning the well, telling her not to tell people for financial reasons, like the possibility of your grandmother-in-law changing her will to include a new grandchild and making his take less. That is the only way this makes sense. And that is the end of that story.